George Benson, performed by AC/DC and Angus Young. Let's go to La Jolla. Drew Brees, number 9. They're ready to play. Maybe not much yesterday. Ouch, that hurt. What's up, New Orleans? Thanks so much for joining us. Hey, Corporal, I didn't zoom in on that YouTube channel. You zoom in on that a little bit? All right, up here, this little guy. Just hit that thing over up on top, right? Yep. To the yep. Got all that outside showing. Very unprofessional of me. The corporal saying, yes, you're getting demoted. But I'm only a private. Where do I go? Dishonorable discharge? What happens?
Straight to the brig.
To the brig. Wow. That can't be any good. Leftover food, crappy treatment.
Just bread and water.
Wow. Bread and water. Does that still exist?
Yeah, they can still do that.
They still can do that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I guess I'm getting bread and water then. Yeah, you're right. You heard him. That's the corporal. He's fielding your phone calls, 766-9480. We've got a slew of topics, but I got to ask you this. Have you ever experienced this? And before I tell you what this is, of course you have. I'm at lunch today, Corporal. I'm sitting at a bar with a buddy. This just happened to be a woman. Could have been a man, I guess. It seems, this is so sexist. It seems like it's more women than men, but maybe I'm wrong. Just alone eating while yapping on the phone. Alone eating while yapping on the phone. Just has, and doesn't have the earpiece, has the phone up against her head and is eating the whole time talking on the phone. I'm just thinking to myself, it's like, it's okay. You can put the phone down. You don't have to talk to your friend the whole time you're eating by yourself at the bar. Now I'm checking my phone, emails, and things of that nature, but 80% of the time I'm there, the phone is just sitting there and I'm just sort of, talking with my buddy or just staring out into space, enjoying, lunch. I mean, 90%. I'm not on the phone. If I were alone, it might have been like 70% not on the phone. I mean, how often can you check email and send someone a text? Go to lousy Twitter or something like that. I mean, how much can you do it? This woman was just sitting on the phone the whole time. I mean, the bartender / wait. Just never getting off yeah, you can take it. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, bring me the check. Like never eye contact, no human communication. I mean, I know the youngsters, they'll be 4 at a table and they're all on the phone, texting and doing whatever they're doing, like not having a human conversation with each other. Just crazy. My older sister and her husband, they'll come in town and we'll go to dinner. They're the only two where we don't see the phone. My phone's sitting up on the dinner table on silent. My brother, everyone's got their phone on the table, but on silent. Another cell phone phenomenon when you're at a restaurant, it's like, hey, Corporal, what are you thinking about getting a steak? Yeah, man, I might get some pasta. Wait, hang on, my phone's ringing. Hey, what's going on? And then the volume goes up instead of down. The volume goes, okay, A, you're answering the phone at a restaurant. B, go outside or to the bathroom or something. C, lower your voice if you have to answer it like emergency type call or you don't want to miss the call at the table. Chances are 99% of the time if you can't answer it quick enough, you could call that person back. It's not an emergency. But I didn't care. Honestly, I felt sorry for the woman. I was telling my buddy, like, okay, we're catching half her conversation. But, that restaurants, people at other tables are talking and you can hear them. You blank it out. It's like, just sort of noise in the background. Have you ever experienced this? Is it kind of crazy? Is it kind of rude to be on the phone talking in a restaurant? I went to a wedding a few weeks ago north of New York City at an exclusive country club. And their cell phone policy, they had the cell phone with the red circle and the line through it. First off, it's got to be on silent. Second, you can't pick up the phone and talk while you're at this country club. You can go to your car, it said. You can go to a bathroom, it said. I don't even think there was like a cell phone area. I was like, that's a pretty good rule. That's a pretty good rule. If I were a member of some elite country club, I would be all for that rule. I wouldn't want to have to deal with I didn't have to deal with it, but it was just sort of sad, kind of crazy. And I think kind of rude. I caught crap on Twitter. I was in some restaurant. There were 10 men at a table. 9 of them had baseball caps on while eating dinner. And then I love the person that knows better, but dude, this is an expensive hat, so I'm going to keep wearing it inside. I don't care how expensive or fancy it is. Whatever happened to no hats indoors? I remember Bum Phillips, the old Saints coach. He didn't wear his hat in the Superdome because his mom said you don't wear a hat indoors. And the dome is indoors. So coaching on the sideline for the Saints, he didn't wear his 10-gallon hat. Even Bum Phillips knew better, a country boy. Now, I caught a bunch of crap on Twitter about that. It's 2024, grandpa, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, just hats on. I go into this one restaurant, kind of, fine dining-ish. Not casual, but not high-end fine dining, somewhere in the middle. Dude has on a sweatshirt with the sleeves cut off, and then he's wearing Crocs and proceeds to take his feet out of the Crocs and rest them on top. So you could see his bare feet and the sweatshirt with the sleeves cut off. I go to the owner, chef. I'm like, dude, really? And he goes, what am I supposed to do? Tell him he can't come in? Tell him to put his shoes back on? He's in a restaurant. Hey, I'm sorry. Could you put your shoes back on? Unbelievable. Literally bare feet out of the Crocs, which Crocs aren't for a nice restaurant. Sorry. They're for like on the boat or casual restaurant, maybe sports bar. Crocs, bare feet on top the Crocs, cut off sweatshirt. I'm like, wow, really? And then the hats. But in that same category, this woman sitting at the bar alone, just yapping on the phone the whole meal, eating while the phone's up against her ear. I was just like, wow. You can check out the photo on my Twitter at Corey Johnson. I posted it. You're damn right. It's just ridiculous. Oh, wow. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 766-9480. 766-9480. A lot to discuss today. New Orleans East the city council approves more billboards for New Orleans East. You know what that means? More lawyer and attorney billboards. That's all that means. We all lose with that, huh? Speaking of obnoxious and rude. Fox 8 story. This is the headline. What will happen at the site of the Hard Rock Hotel collapse? ? Good question. That's the headline. It is a good question. It is a good question. Louisiana gets about $300 million in federal grant, not Louisiana, a couple of companies, to build EV battery components. Why do we always get the dirty stuff and then we ship it out and it's manufactured anywhere but Louisiana? I'll fill you in on those details. It could become Hurricane Helene, expected to become Hurricane Helene. Look like it's coming into the Gulf. It's going to be fast moving too. Expected to hit a little east of Panama City. Boy, that Mexico beach, that military installation just got crushed. Homes crushed. It's like Lake Charles. They don't need that. Hopefully it's not a Cat 2 or Cat 3 as expected. Rouse's Markets phone lines. 766-9480, 766-9480. Hey, do you need air conditioning help? Because it's still very oppressive out there, and it's going to be for a few more weeks. Total Maintenance is there for you in New Orleans, in Baton Rouge. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. Think Total Maintenance, 40-plus years. Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys. TM-AC.com. That's how you reach them in New Orleans and Baton Rouge.
Come experience the best
TM-AC.com.
smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Oxford. On Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
River Cities. Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game with conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City. Corey Johnson back at you on a Monday afternoon. Rouse's Markets phone line 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, no Google device, internet device, none of that. You either know the answer or you don't. Cafe Reconcile on Old Dryads, Aretha Castle Haley. What was that building originally? It's like a 6 or 7 story building. What was that building originally? Cafe Reconcile, training chefs and pastry chefs and the like. And then they go into the real world, into the New Orleans restaurant world. And they've been doing that for like 25, 30 years now, Cafe Reconcile. Pretty good food there as well that they're making for you. Cafe Reconcile on Aretha Castle Haley. What was that building originally? Give me the answer to that, you savvy New Orleanians. And I'll give you 50 big bucks to one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Pick your poison, the one that's nearest to you. 2 on the South Shore, Canal Street at Carrollton. That's the one I go to. They're in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental near North Kent. They're in Slidell, about 90 seconds off the I-10 Gauze exit. They're in Mandeville, East Causeway approach, right across from the Mandeville City Hall, like 90 seconds from Trey Yen. And they're in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, 5 Woodhouse Day Spa locations, the premier day spa experience. WoodhouseSpas.com's the website. WoodhouseSpas.com. You can print your own gift card, any denomination for her, including a full-blown day of relaxation. Book an appointment at any of the 5 Woodhouse locations. WoodhouseSpas.com. Cafe Reconcile. What was that building originally? Here's another one for you. If Brian Kelly, LSU's head football coach, makes 10 plus million annually, making him the highest paid on the LSU's campus, who's number 2? Who's second highest paid on the LSU campus? If Brian Kelly at 10 plus million annually, how do you like that paycheck? You know, you figure what he's making about 10 million over 12 months is what, about $850 a month? And then after taxes, what's that about? Maybe you want to just be hyper conservative about it, about $600,000. Every 2-week paycheck's about $300,000 for Brian Kelly. Every 2-week paycheck, about $300,000. $150,000 a week. $150,000 a week. What's that, like $25,000 a day? It's like $1,000 an hour while sleeping at night. $1,000 an hour. Every hour, all the time. Pretty amazing money. Inconceivable. Hard to comprehend. Hard to wrap the old cranium around that kind of loot. Seriously. Every 2 weeks, $300,000. Hey, here's your paycheck. $304,000, $296,000 every 2 weeks. A lot of folks are like, every 2 years, every 4 years, every 6 years, not every 2 weeks. Wow. New Orleans, family of 4 is like under $50,000. He's making 6 times that every 2 weeks. Hey, capitalism. If Brian Kelly, LSU head football coach, makes 10 plus million annually, making him the highest paid on the LSU campus, who's number 2? Rouse's Markets phone line 766-9480. 766-9480. Got a lot coming your way, including a little trivia. Have you ever experienced being in a restaurant and someone is just on their phone the whole time? At lunch today, I was with a buddy sitting at a bar eating, a restaurant bar. And on the other side is a big circular bar. This woman just phone against her ear, yapping the entire time with, I guess, a friend. It wasn't business, that's for sure. Hell, I was at the gym earlier this morning. This former Notre Dame LSU football player, just super sweet guy, big old guy. He's probably about 45 now. I saw him outside on the phone, and hands were going, and he was talking business. He was getting work done, and then came back in and finished his workout. That's at the gym. Not even doing it at the gym in front of everybody else. And this was business. Now, this woman is just yapping with a friend like, it's okay to put the phone down. You can be by yourself. It's okay. You don't have to be talking to someone all the time, especially in a restaurant. All you needed was a sweatshirt with the sleeves cut off and your feet on top of your Crocs, barefoot. That's all you needed. And a hat on, of course, inside. That would have been the cherry on the Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. Got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Old GQ in Covington. Old GQ in Covington. Emailing us, Corey at Corey Talks. You can do the same, Kaare, Corey at CoreyTalks.com. He got the answer to who's number 2 to Brian Kelly on the LSU campus as far as moolah annual income. If you got the answer, I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse. 766-80. 766-9480. New Orleans East is going to get more billboards. The city council approves it. Oliver Thomas says it's for the local businesses to advertise. No, it's not. It's for lawyers and attorneys to advertise, period, end of story. You know, if you own like an Italian restaurant, you bought a billboard, and it was one of those double billboards. It was like, Corey's Italian, and right under it was the Corporal's Italian restaurant. Wouldn't you call the billboard company and go, guys, I want a billboard, but I don't want it next to the competition. There's so many attorneys and lawyers advertising. Some of those double billboards will be double stacked with attorneys, competitors. I'd be ticked off. I'd be like, guys, I'm paying you X amount a month. I want a billboard that stands alone. Put a restaurant under that or something else. Oh, I'm sorry. We're the billboard company. All we have are lawyers and attorneys primarily. It's obnoxious. It really is. We are such a litigious state. All we do is sue. And these commercials are obnoxious. They almost say like, hey, if you're not even legitimately hurt, you're just looking to blame someone for your own stupidity. We got a check for you. It is a major problem. Lawyers, the billboard companies. I remember they're going to change the law where lawyers couldn't advertise on billboards. And the billboard companies and the lawyers went to Baton Rouge, the needs of the few outweighing the needs of the many, us, and they got that thrown out. They paid off the politicians, they made donations, and the politicians followed. It is utterly ridiculous. They were going to change advertising laws where the advertisements could be so obnoxious. Deal. The lawyers stepped up and said it helps us make a lot more money when the commercials that are obnoxious and in your face. Some guy standing in front of in the old days it was like a brand new stereo system in TV. That's sort of outdated. But Joe Blow got me a check for $400,000, which means he kept about $300,000 of it. I wonder how many people could just settle on their own with the insurance company and not have to give 40%. That's what the lawyers get, 40%. I love the Dudley DeBoja commercial. It's the Louisiana guarantee. It's everybody's guarantee. No lawyer gets paid until you get paid. Unless it's a legitimate lawyer, they may request some money up front to make a settlement for you. But no, it's obnoxious. It really is. So many people just looking to sue somebody, and then the back, the doctor can't find anything, but there's like a line to say, I have a catch in my neck and back and I feel a little dizzy. Kaboom goes the dynamite. You get a check. And people don't care. Ethics, integrity, morals, doing the right thing. That's thrown out the window for such a large percentage of the population. And in dysfunctional, broken Louisiana, I would think it's even bigger than other states. I mean, it's a nationwide American dilemma. But I would think here in Louisiana, it's even more egregious. They're everywhere. It's beyond obnoxious. And if you really had a legitimate lawsuit like that was life or death, you wouldn't want these jokers on TV handling it because they don't know a courtroom. You might know the courtroom and the law better than they do. They are simply insurance company facilitators. They're not lawyers or attorneys. They're insurance company facilitators. Old Boris Mart has a commercial where he's like, we've settled $10 billion. $1 billion in settlements. At 40%, that means Boris Mart is pulled in $400 million. $400 million in fees. If he's, cocking off about $1 billion in settlements, like that's some kind of grand achievement and he's helped people. I would think like the majority of the folks are lying or exaggerating, embellishing, that type of thing. Just a sad state of affairs, pun intended, coming right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Woodhouse Day Spa with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pit rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Rouse's Markets phone lines 766-9480. 766-9480 to participate. Am I going over the top? At a restaurant today, sitting at the bar with a buddy, and there's a woman across the bar eating and on the phone the entire meal. I mean, it didn't bother me in the sense that you can hear other people talking in the restaurant too, but just I'm blown away. Just like, God, can't get off the phone. Huh? Can't put it down for a minute. Gotta talk to your buddy. There's just something, it's beyond like insecurity. It's just sort of crazy and selfish and not thinking about anyone else but yourself, right? And rude and crazy. Like the guy in the pseudo upscale restaurant that I walk into, I'm grabbing a to-go order one night and I look at the owner, I'm like, really? And I point to a guy, he's got on a sweatshirt with the sleeves cut off, and then he has his feet out of his Crocs, his bare feet on top the Crocs. I was like, you're not going to tell me anything? What am I going to tell him? You can't come in the restaurant like that. Sorry. We put your feet back in your shoes, and do you want me to grab you a chef's coat out the back because your shirt doesn't have sleeves on it? And then people with hats on inside, I don't get that. There just seems to be some exception to the rule. It's a baseball cap. I love the Sopranos episode where Tony walks over and tells the guy to take his baseball cap off. It's my hat. I'll wear it where I want. And then just Tony doesn't move or say anything. And then the guy just sees Tony's eyes and takes the hat off. And then I like folks, Meyer the Hatter. What a great store. What a great place. Legendary Meyer the Hatter on St. Charles Avenue, right off Canal Street. One of the oldest hat stores in America. And what a selection, and all around the country to go to Meyer the Hatter. I got no problem with hats. I love looking at those old 20s and 30s photographs where every single man was wearing a hat. But when you go inside to a restaurant, take off your little hat or your baseball cap, right? Don't wear a shirt with the sleeves cut off of it, right? I mean, that's almost marginal, like at a sports bar. Seriously. And then you take in the shoes out of the Crocs. I mean, upscale restaurant, why are you wearing Crocs barefoot? And then you take your shoes out of the Crocs and rest them on top? And there was a woman with that man. Well, what's wrong with her? And then today, this woman at the bar just yapping on the phone the entire time she's eating. 766-9480. Am I living in yesteryear? I need to adjust to 2024. That's just how it is. Or am I making a valid point? Es loco, kind of rude. What do you think? Straighten me out if I'm going too far. 766-9480. It's what I love about talk radio. You know, I'll make the adjustment on my attitude like that. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Cafe Reconcile on Aretha Castle Haley. They do a great job training young people and then putting them into the workforce as chefs or sous chefs or working in the kitchen, working your way up, most likely. I shouldn't say chefs and sous chefs, but getting into a kitchen environment and working your way up to become a sous chef or chef. What was that building originally where Cafe Reconcile is located? 766-9480. If Brian Kelly, LSU head football coach, makes 10 plus million annually, making him the highest paid on the LSU campus, who's number two? Who's second highest paid? 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Speaking of LSU, 5 o'clock power hour, another Martell Monday. Brett Martell from the Associated Press will join us for about 10 minutes. He was on the Baton Rouge campus today. City Council approving billboard expansion in New Orleans East. Why? I'll tell you why. For the attorneys and the lawyers. Period. End of story. Oliver Thomas says it's so the local businesses can advertise. The local businesses in New Orleans, like anywhere, are going to throw a billboard up. 9 out of 10 that do it. And within a month or two, they're going to take the billboard down and never put one up again. Can't afford the cost every month. Maybe 1 out of 10 will keep the billboard up. The other 9 out of 10 are going to be lawyers and attorneys. It's obnoxious. Needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many always in Louisiana because the politicians just prostitute themselves out. Cash talks and everything else walks. And the jokers we, elect, the 39 senators, the 105 House reps, the majority of them either in over their head, have some power trip, or trying to set up friends and family, a la John Alario, Heitmeyer brothers, Bill Jefferson, Mark Morial, Edwin Edwards. Shall I go on? C. Ray Nagin. I can go on and on if you'd like. Fox 8 story. What will happen at the site of the Hard Rock Hotel collapse? Good question. That's the headline. Even the good question part. It is a good question. It's the gateway to the quarter. It's a shame. That Havana outpost, the other gateway, the other corner, Esplanade at Rampart, it took over a decade for that guy to open. Thank God he had wherewithal, and an Etsy original investor, has a lot of money, was a Golden Gloves champion, a fighter, a champion. And he took on those idiots behind that location. Literally, you can stack the houses up right behind them that are underassessed, getting away with, tax fraud because the city's not on top of them, assessing the property at, proper value. They had those No Havana Outpost circle with the red line through it signs. I love Sean Mean, and he's got that sign in the window. No Havana Outpost in the window. Like, the hell with you. No, those folks think they're like, we're pro-New Orleans. They're anti-New Orleans. They like the blight. That gas station had sat vacant, empty, blighted for 40 plus years. 40 plus. I'm not making it up because of those idiots. How many other people you think they stopped from opening up a business there? Had to be a few dozen over 40 years. No, but the Golden Gloves champ knocked them out. No, anti-New Orleans, these people. Sinful behavior. The Hard Rock Hotel collapse. Kylis, his son, they just keep rolling along. No lawsuits that have been settled. No one to blame. It's insane. Instead of having some, what was that, like an $80 million building there on that corner? Fits perfectly into the strip, the rows of buildings along Canal Street. And that's not the French Quarter, that fronts Canal Street. That's CBD, believe it or not. Right behind it's French Quarter. And there's nothing there. That lot's been sitting empty for years now. You remember the dead bodies sitting in the building for over a year? I mean, dysfunction. Driving on the I-10, the elevated Claiborne's I-10, and you just see that wrecked building month in, month out, over a year, people coming in to do business. Wow, still there. You remember that apartment building that collapsed in Miami? I bet within 90 days it was a cleared out lot. And you want to know another bet? I bet you there's a building or at the worst, the least, it's redeveloped like a park. It's not just a chain link fence around it. Blight. That is the entrance to the French Quarter. Rampart at Canal Street, for crying out loud. Come on, people. Fox 8 story right on the money. Bringing it up at least. A Louisiana plant, 2 plants actually, getting almost $300 million in federal grants for EV battery components. But we're not building the batteries. We're making the dirty stuff, the cancer-causing stuff. One is a company called Element 25. They got $166 million from the feds. I get what the feds are doing. They want to develop the battery technology. It's like chips. Taiwan's where all the chips come from. We're building plants in America to make chips. We want EV batteries made here, not coming in from China. In the Burnside area near Gonzales, high purity manganese sulfate monohydrate, a critical component for EV batteries. And then another company, Honeywell in Geismar, they got $126 million. Lithium fluorosulfonol imide. Wow. Makes lithium batteries more powerful. The manufacturing will go somewhere else. The batteries will be made somewhere else. The electric vehicles will be made somewhere else. How about the I-12 corridor? Battery plants, electric vehicle plants. Alabama, 35 years ago, had 0 automotive jobs. Alabama now has 15% of all North American automotive jobs. They employ tens of thousands of people in that industry. Indirectly, it might be north of 100,000. Who knows? Multiple plants, multiple parts facilities surrounding those plants. Direct jobs, indirect jobs. I bet you it's north of 100,000 in Alabama. Huge economic impact. Billions and billions. 35 years ago, 0 jobs. Today, 15% of all automotive jobs in the United States are in Alabama. We could do the same thing. This EV thing is new. Factories are going to be built from scratch. Battery plants. Why do we just have the dirty part? The cancer-causing stuff. Absolutely crazy. Es loco. Young's Dry Cleaning's not loco. Young's Dry Cleaning's the answer to your dry cleaning. Tired of your dry cleaner? Want to simply experience the best? No problems? Young'sDryCleaning.com. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, manless locker locations. To find out more about the best, it's simple. A New Orleans institution since 1940. Young'sDryCleaning.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LaBarre by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Some Taylor Swift tickets could become available on the market like a week before the concert. Is $1,200 too much for a concert ticket? $1,200. No, it's not Jesus Christ and the All-Star Band playing. It's Taylor Swift. Jeez, Pete's $1,200. That's just mind-blowing to me. I remember when concert tickets were like $1,250. $1,250 for like a major concert.
Like, that's rent for most people. Could you like imagine?
It's a mortgage payment,
rent?
car note, a luxury car note,
Like,
rent,
insane.
mortgage. No, it really is insane. I think they've had some artists that have recognized that, and we're just going to cut our profits down a little bit. Anyway, capitalism, what the market bears, Corporal. It ain't like she sold out 3 shows in the Dome, 60,000 tickets each show. That's 180,000 tickets. Sold them out in like 20 minutes or something like that, in under an hour. That intranet device, that thing was working, right? They knew not to have that thing bogged down or go offline. In a few hours, 180,000 tickets sold. Just crazy. Hey, Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. Greg on the North Shore says, I'm going all 3 nights. You can email us, Corey at CoreyTalks.com. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E. Yeah, I know. That's how it's spelled. Scandinavian. My biggest mistake, that little umlaut, the little double dot over one of the A's. How many more dates would I have had in my day, Corporal, with the double dots over one of the A's in my name? That's just a chick magnet, I think. Wow, he's got the umlaut, the double dot over one of the A's. Oh, boy. 766-9480, Rouse's Markets phone lines. 766-9480. A storm in the Caribbean making its way north into the Gulf. Wednesday morning, it'll be a Cat 1 by Cuba, and then just flying across the Gulf. Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, hitting east of Panama City. At least that's what the spaghetti models say. Cat 2 at least, could be a Category 3. I hope not. Mexico beats that area east of Panama City. They don't need that. It's like Lake Charles. Do not need it. Do not need it. 766-9480. Let's hit the phone lines to the metropolis known as Metairie, Louisiana, a.k.a. New Orleans West, home of traffic. Lots and lots of traffic. Billy joins us in Metairie.
Hey there.
What's up, William?
Hey, what's up?
SOS.
Questions for you. I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter about the Louisiana State Ethics Board. I think you've talked about it before. I saw on your Twitter that you even talked about defunding it. I'm wondering, you're saying all this, but you're also have campaign violations.
Wait, slow down a little bit, Billy. You're about to say something that you think's funny and caustic. Slow down your roll. Try to get it out smoothly. Because, hey, it's probably not funny.
Pretty simple. You call for a stronger state ethics board.
Yes.
You owe them money for a campaign.
I owe the ethics board in Louisiana $2,400 for filing late during my 2008 at-large run for city council. You are correct.
Yeah.
If I want to run again for public office, I'll have to pay that fine. Hello?
The ethics board is only relevant when we're talking about elected officials.
No, if I want to run again, I'll have to pay that fine. You've seen the list. I'm one of the minor, people on the list. There are tens of thousands of dollars owed. I disputed those late payments with the ethics board and never got a response back. So what would you do? Especially the Louisiana Ethics Board, which, by the way, has rolled over different members. It's not the one from 2008. It's even worse than it is, you could argue. So what would you do, Billy? You ever run for public office?
No.
Okay. You got to file these statements with the ethics board, what donations you get. I filed them on time. They said I didn't. So what would you do?
Right. Yeah, but I think you said that, you admitted that you filed them late, though.
No, I didn't admit I filed them late. I said I didn't file them late and have disputed with them, and I never got a response back. So what would you do, Billy?
I would probably stop calling for the ethics board to get defunded and complain that it doesn't do enough.
I don't want it to be defunded. I'd like the ethics board to actually not talk the talk, but walk the walk. Like actually be a true ethics board. Like when politicians, elected officials, take things of value that they're not supposed to, the ethics board actually comes down on them. And there are actual real repercussions, not this joke of an ethics board, this pathetic ethics board.
What's your ideal vision for an ethics board then, if it's not one that, actually enforces the fines that they give out based on law?
Exactly. You're right. That means I disputed it and they should have responded back to me, right or wrong?
Sure, I guess right. But I mean, clearly they've decided that you're wrong. I don't understand.
No, they did in 2008. They decided I was wrong, or didn't even decide. They accused me of being wrong. And then when I refuted that, they didn't make any decision, didn't get back in touch with me. Is that clear enough for you?
Do you also refute your property taxes and then, the normal stuff that...
No, because the property taxes are correct and I pay them on time. Just like I did those ethics filings of the contributions I received. What's that, Blue Boy? Billy and Metairie tried real hard, but he started stumbling and bumbling, and we knew it was going to be a silly call, yet I still didn't cut him off. You're right, Blue Boy. That's how we operate. We take all comers, even Billy and Metairie, and we don't cut them off. Oh, what's that, Blue Boy? Top of the hour, 5 o'clock powwow next. Don't move, New Orleans.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. Then we'll save your color so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building. with literally dozens and dozens of flat screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Ford F-150, number one seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. Corey Johnson back at you. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. That's right, Mr. Drew Brees. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. Well, we got a chock-full 5 o'clock power hour for you. This afternoon's 5 o'clock power hour brought to you by Rouse's Markets. I love Rouse's. So convenient. The latest any of the 65-plus Rouse's Markets open, 7 a.m. Some open at like 6:30. The earliest they all close, 10 p.m. 10 p.m., not 8 or 9 or 7, 10 p.m. Some are open to like 11 or midnight. Now, it was a Sunday night. I had just gotten back from a wedding out of town, and my neighbor, I owed him a favor. He took care of my outdoor cat while I was gone for 4 days. He likes Jim Beam. I went to it was 9:50 at night. I went to the Rouse's on Airline, coming back from the airport, Airline at La Barre, right by Causeway, and went in there and grabbed him he likes the Jim Beam 4-year-old, just the standard Jim Beam. I got him the 7-year-old, the Jim Beam Black. Big bottle. No, just, showing my thanks, my gratitude. It was 9:50 at night, 10 to 10 on a Sunday night. Rouse's was rolling. I could have picked up steaks or whatever I wanted. Best quality, best price, best selection, and convenience. Working for you the hours you want. 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. Rouse's Markets truly does taste like home. Got a lot coming your way in the 5 o'clock powwow, including a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Cafe Reconcile on Aretha Castle Haley. Just a great place that trains young New Orleanians for jobs in the culinary field. They've been doing it for like 25, 30 years. What was that Cafe Reconcile? It's like a 6-8-story linear building. What was that building originally? I'll give you a little hint. I think at the top, the old paint advertisement. I miss those in the French Quarter. I almost think they should get like an artist to redo them where they're there. Again, even though it's like you're kind of treading on history, but it's going away. It's fading away. It'll be gone. So have some artist, painted on there. Like Rock and Bowl, they have like that sign that's supposed to look old. Fix those up. Save those. Better than them fading away, right? You're like, Corey, you're painting over history. History's fading out. It'll be gone. At the top of the Cafe Reconcile, I still think you can see the name of what the building originally was. If Brian Kelly, LSU's head football coach, makes $10 million annually, making him the highest paid person on the LSU campus, who's number 2? Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Rouse's Markets phone lines 766-9480. 766-9480. A slew of topics. Billboards in the East. What to do at the Hard Rock Hotel collapse site. EV battery components, the dirty stuff being made in Louisiana, but not the batteries. What's up with that? Storm in the Caribbean expected hit the panhandle of Florida Thursday night. Tulane reportedly turns down an invitation to the Pac-12 along with Memphis and South Florida. They're in it together. 766-9480. We head to Kenner, brah. Matthew joins us in Kenner. What up, Matthew?
Hey, man, just wondering. I mean, the ethics board says that you've...
Oh, boy, it's Billy and Metairie again as Matthew?
To pay part of it, like...
Is this Billy again in Metairie as Matthew and Kenner, or is it really Matthew and Kenner? Sounds like Billy and Metairie again. Billy, is it? Speaking of ethics, is it you, Billy, or are you Matthew and Kenner this time?
It's all of us.
It's all of us.
We're all wondering, Corey, what's going on with the campaign finance violation?
Corey.
We're all asking questions. Everyone's wondering.
We are? No. You are Billy and Metairie, if that's your name, or Matthew and Kenner. No one else is. I think I've told you. If say I call you, Billy or Matthew, and say, you owe me $50 and you don't think it's real, do you just pay me the 50 or do you refute it and say it was a mistake, that you guys are wrong? What would you do? Just pay me the 50?
If you have the ability to take my fucking bank account, then yeah, probably.
Matthew and Kenner. Adios. Billy and Metairie. See ya. So ridiculous. Geesh. I think that's the guy who started my parody account, Corporal. What do you think? On Twitter?
Seems like a good...
With 2 N's? I like that.
Spelled
Spelled my name right, and then the Johnson has 2 N's just to make it a parody account. You think it's even Billy in Metairie, or it's Jimmy from Mid-City is his real name or something?
I mean, he's picking like generic names, so it could be whatever.
Billy and Metairie, Matthew and Kenner. Wow. Get a life? I love talk radio. Like, seriously, screening, you want to know why we don't screen calls? Not because of that crap. Just because I'm not scared. It's my show. You know why we don't cut off, folks? Because I'm not scared and it's my show. I can handle myself. That's why this debate thing, like, there are reports out there. I don't know if they're true or not, but if they're true, it's sad. Like, Kamala Harris turned down the Fox debate. Donald Trump turns down the CNN debate. I don't care. I think Trump was like, Fox had an invitation sent out to both candidates, and the Fox morning show, whatever it's called, Fox and Friends, they were talking to Trump, and they're like, yeah, it would be Martha and Brett, Martha McCollum, Brett Baer hosting it. And Trump just said, no, don't want Martha and Brett. I want Waters or Jesse Waters or Hannity or Laura Ingraham. It's like, okay, the people they're going to put up there were journalists, The people that Trump wanted were like talk show hosts that do political commentary that are on Trump's side. I'm Kamala Harris. I'd be like, bring on Hannity or Jesse Waters. I can handle myself. I don't care who's moderating it. I can handle myself. That would have been my deal if I was Kamala Harris. I'll go on Fox, and you can have, Roger Ailes moderating it. And if I'm, Donald Trump, I'm going on CNN, and you could have Joy Reid moderating it. Because I can handle myself. Now, I never understood screening calls, and I never understood cutting folks off that disagree with you. Never understood it. Me no comprende. Hey, this I do understand. Leidenheimer French bread. Yummy. Love me some Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer's been baking that French bread in New Orleans since 1896, and they now send it out to 30 states around the country. And they don't sub it out to some bakery in Ohio. They ship it from the New Orleans bakery to Ohio. Some of the best French bread anywhere. It makes sense. New Orleans French bread. Leidenheimer is New Orleans French bread. For almost 130 years, the official French bread of New Orleans, the official po' boy bread of New Orleans. Pick up some tonight. Leidenheimer French bread, Leidenheimer Baking Company. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Boy, New Orleans East approving, I shouldn't say New Orleans East. The city council approves billboards for New Orleans East. Can you say lawyers and attorneys are going to be all over those billboards? That's about it, huh? Fox 8 has a good story. Hey, it's like 3+ years later. What's up with the Hard Rock Hotel collapse site? Hey, Corporal, why don't you Google the Miami condominium collapse? You know, that and what's on the site now? Miami condominium collapse, comma, what's on that site now? I guarantee it's a new building or at the worst, like a park. It isn't a chain link fence with a bunch of rubble on the ground, just a cleared lot that isn't really all that nicely cleared. I mean, come on, New Orleans, do something. Make the owners of the lot turn it into a park at least. Ideally, my God, build something there. Hey, we're coming right back. Don't move.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com. Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
That sounds like some Radiators, huh? I could hear Camille on that guitar. My God, was he good? He is good. The Radiators are retired, and then they're coming back for one final reunion concert for the 20th time. I like the reunion concerts. I hope they do it again. Check out the Law of the Fish album. That's from like 1987, like almost 40 years ago. Camille Bowden, the guitarist, is phenomenal, incredible. Hey, I still have 50 big bucks. Good at the Woodhouse. A couple of questions. $50 if you got the answer. Cafe Reconcile on Aretha Castle Haley. What was that building originally? Second question. If Brian Kelly, LSU head football coach, makes 10 plus million annually, making him the highest paid on the LSU campus, who's number two? Who's second highest paid on the LSU campus? That person and the money they make might surprise you. If you got answers, I got 50 big bucks. Good for you at the Woodhouse. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. We'll go to Billy and Metairie first, then Matthew and Kenner. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. A storm, it might become Hurricane Helene. It's expected to become Hurricane Helene. It's in the Caribbean heading towards the western side of Cuba. Expected to be a Cat 1 Wednesday morning down by Cuba. And then in like 36 hours, smashing up against the Florida Panhandle, maybe as a Cat 2, possibly a Cat 3. I hope not. Like I was talking about Lake Charles as a target a few weeks ago. They don't need it. The last thing they need. East of Panama City, Mexico Beach, they don't need that. They don't need that. Hey, have you ever experienced this? Of course you have. I was in a restaurant today with a friend sitting at the bar in a restaurant. It was a circular bar or square bar, so people are across from you. This woman in there just eating her meal the whole time on the phone. Corporal made a good point to me during the break. At home alone, you don't want to be on the phone eating the meal because you get mentally into the conversation and you're not enjoying the food. But Corporal, I don't know. I guess some folks from around the country, they're eating some bland garbage anyway, so they don't even care. They just have to, in New Orleans, we live to eat. In other parts of the country, people eat to live. So maybe I get on the phone, I'm eating this cardboard and cinder block medley with the paper clips. It's just, maybe good to talk on the phone and not have to think about what I'm eating. But that is a good point. How could she be enjoying the meal when she's yapping on the phone and her brain is there? Anyway, yapping on the cellular device in a restaurant is ridiculous. I love the part when someone's at the table and they're talking about this level and they're like, yeah, man, I'm thinking about getting a salad. What do you think about? Oh, hang on, let me get the phone. Hello? And their volume goes up instead of down, you know? If it's an emergency call, hey, hang on a second. I'm in a restaurant. Give me a minute. You know, something like that. Let me call you back. I'm in the post office. Whatever. Lower voice. Or not answered and then text them. Call you in 5. Hats, baseball caps and hats at restaurants. I mean, if it's a sports bar, that's one thing. You know, mid-level to high-end restaurant. I don't know. I don't get that. Yapping on the cellular device at a restaurant. Me no comprende. I don't get that. I went into one restaurant. I'm not kidding you. Kind of mid-upscale to upscale. Picking up a to-go order in Metairie. That's a nice coronavirus crisis silver lining. So many great restaurants now do to go that never did before. There's a guy sitting at a 4-top with girlfriend, wife, has a sweatshirt with the sleeves cut off, wearing Crocs, his bare feet out of the Crocs, resting on top of the Crocs. I told the owner, chef operator, I'm like, dude, what? Really? And he goes, what am I supposed to do? Not let them in the restaurant? Tell them they can't come in? We have a dress code? Seriously. Sleeveless shirt, cutting the sleeves off your shirt, wife beater type shirt. It's colored. It's not white. It doesn't matter. You're a man. A woman can get away with the wife beater type shirt, tank top. A man can't at a good restaurant. Shouldn't be wearing a cap or a hat indoors. Shouldn't be wearing Crocs to a good restaurant, much less taking your bare feet out of them and resting them on top. I mean, I started laughing. It was so comical. It's like a 60-year-old man. It's like, geez, him. And then today, this yapper, this woman just yapping on the phone. I'm like, wow. I don't know. Just kind of rude, selfish, all of that. But I don't know. I'm in my 50s now. Maybe I'm getting old and it's 2024 and all this is acceptable. And it's all me with the problem. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines. 766-9480. The city council approves billboards in New Orleans East, an expansion of billboards in the East. Can you say lawyers and attorneys on those billboards? Just obnoxious. Speaking of obnoxious, do we have, Corporal, anything on that site in Miami, where that apartment building collapsed? What's on that site now? I'm assuming another building.
Yeah, I think it's, as far as I can tell, it's just another building there now.
A new building, a new apartment building.
Yes.
Yeah, in New Orleans. I mean, it isn't even a like cleaned lot. The old Hard Rock Hotel site. There's still like rubble and not like, you know, parts of the building, but like broken up concrete, dirt, and then there's like some cheesy chain link fence around it. You think the city would be like, guys, grass it over, make it like a park, a public space. If you want it to be, you don't want anyone on it, put up a decent fence, not a chain link. This is the entrance to the French Quarter. It's got to look respectable, but the city isn't even thinking about that. This administration especially. They're thinking about inevitable indictment time. Why do we do the crappy stuff, the dangerous stuff, the cancer stuff, and not do the manufacturing? A couple of Louisiana plants, and I get it, America's government is investing in electric vehicle batteries so we don't have to get them from China, just like the chips that are made in Taiwan, an ally of ours, that China might try to take over in a few years when they feel militarily right to do it. That's the only thing stalling them right now, arguably. No, we're trying to do all this in America, and government wants to invest, give grants to companies, incentivize them to do it. I'm all for that. Chips being made here. I mean, too much stuff made in China that we depend on. But these EV battery components, they're the dirty stuff. They're the chemicals. Then we ship them out to another state that manufactures the batteries at some battery plant. And next door is an electric vehicle manufacturing facility. Alabama 35 years ago didn't have a single automotive job. Now they've got 15% of all North American automotive jobs. There's just something very wrong with that we do the crappy stuff, the cancer-causing stuff, and then we ship it out somewhere where they do the manufacturing. I mean, if we got to do the dirty stuff, we should be making all the batteries here. Instead, it's just the cancer-causing stuff. It's not right. That storm in the Caribbean expected to hit the Florida Panhandle, a little east of Panama City. That's what the spaghetti models say, sometime on Wednesday. Reportedly, Tulane turns down an invitation to join the Pac-12. A decade ago, they would have jumped on that. The Pac-12 is nowhere near what it used to be at all. You could argue the American Athletics better easily. And Tulane wasn't the only university to turn down the Pac-12. Memphis and South Florida turned them down too. It appears that trio's sort of all in it together, at least right now. Some Taylor Swift tickets could come on the market a week before the concert. Right now, they're going for about $1,200 a pop to go see a concert. $1,200 just seems kind of crazy. Hey, Rouse's Markets phone lines 766-9480. Cafe Reconcile. I know this is a hard one. What was that building originally? 766-9480. If Brian Kelly, the LSU head football coach, makes $10 million annually, making him the highest paid on the LSU campus, who's number two, second highest paid on the LSU campus? The money and the person might shock you. 766-9480. 766-9480. Have you ever experienced in a restaurant someone yapping on the phone? This poor lady, I mean, I felt sorry for her. Sitting across from us at a bar. I mean, it was a restaurant that has the round or rectangular shaped bar, so she's directly across from me. The phone against her ear right when I walk in, the phone against her ear the entire meal. Spinning some pasta and eating it with one hand, phone against her ear with the other. Just talking to her friend or whoever. It wasn't business, just yapping on the phone the entire time. It's okay, lady. You can put the phone down. You can call your friend later. You're enjoying a meal. It's okay. You don't have to have the phone attached to your ear and always talking to someone. Just crazy. I don't get it. But then again, I don't get hats indoors at restaurants and shirts with the sleeves cut off, or the guy who was barefoot wearing Crocs to a high-end restaurant and then took his feet out of the Crocs, his barefoot feet, and put them on top of the Crocs. Now, the sleeveless sweatshirt thing, the sleeves cut off the sweatshirt, 20 years ago, I was in a restaurant. I remember telling the buddy of mine who runs it, dude, what's up? He's like, what am I supposed to tell him? They can't come in dressed like that. He's just, like didn't want confrontation or something. Don't want to lose that customer. No, you want to lose that customer. Came in with a shirt with the sleeves cut off at your restaurant. You want to lose that customer. Here's the deal. You might have lost other customers and you didn't know it. I'm not coming back here. I mean, this is what they allow, that kind of thing. I mean, some people are pretty rigid. They see that, they freak out. I went back. I mean, it's like maybe that's just an outlier, but my God, you're running that restaurant. You got to say something. And the dude with the sleeves cut off the shirt with the bare feet on top the Crocs. I mean, I started laughing. It was so ridiculous, so embarrassing. I'm just looking at them and the woman who's with the guy, girlfriend or wife. I'm like, boy, you two pathetic saps. That's just ridiculous. Selfish, rude, right? 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Corporal, that phone's ringing. No, it's not. 766-9480. You know where you should be right now? Katie's in Mid-City. As New Orleans as it gets. Why aren't you at Katie's right now is the question. A real taste of New Orleans. Now, this isn't every night, but it's some nights. Pompano and flounder and Scott Craig, the chef. I mean, it's all fresh and local. And he'll tell you, we got a dozen doormat flounder that are stuffed. When they're gone, they're gone. We got another special, Pompano. We got 15 of them. When they're gone, they're gone. I love that. More is better, more of the good things. Iberville, corner Talamacus, a few blocks behind Angelo Bricato's ice cream joint. It's Katie's in Mid-City, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. Hey, in a few minutes, Brett Martell's going to join us. Another Martell Monday. A lot to discuss with him. He's been with the Associated Press over 25 years. I think it's like 28, closing in on 30 years. Not too many folks have the same gig with the same company that long of a time. We were talking about Eric Paulson last week at Channel 4. He's diagnosed with cancer. His doctors say he can beat it. He says he's going to beat it. He's going to be off of television for a couple of months. He's been at Channel 4 as an anchor reporter since 1978. Since 1978. That's impressive. I'm fortunate for 32 plus years. I've been doing talk radio and television. My show for 32 plus years, but different stations, different channels, kind of hopping around. Eric Paulson, Channel 4 since 1978. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. You don't see that too much. Brett Martell's been with the Associated Press 28 years. Just in today's world, hell, people just don't show up for work and don't give 2 weeks notice and then are going to use it as a referral later. Just crazy. I had a buddy of mine owns a restaurant. He's short-staffed. It's like hard to find employees at times. This one employee sends him a text. Not going to be able to make it in tomorrow. I have to go to my brother's party. Wow. Not sick, not going to a funeral. Got to go to my brother's party. Can't make it into work. Really? Seriously? Hey, every day this program, 2 big hours on the radio, 2 big hours on YouTube. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. 90 minutes of fun, 4 to 5:30 on TV, Cox Channel 4 statewide, Spectrum Channel 333 statewide. It's always brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Canberra. Lamarck Ford, the big store, 45 years? Lamarck Lincoln, #1 Lincoln dealership in the state. And now the legendary Ford truck dealership on Jefferson Highway, Crescent City Ford, for over 80 years, under the Lamarck umbrella. Ronnie Lamarck from Arabe Park does not slow down. Now he's got Ronnie Jr. on board. They're not about to slow down. The opposite. They're downshifting and hitting the gas. If you're looking for a Ford Lincoln vehicle, pre-owned, service, collision, repair, parts. You're looking for a Ford commercial vehicle, van, truck. The Lamarck Automotive Complex. And now Lamarck Crescent City Ford.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
You know where you go for Saints, Tulane, LSU, Pelicans, Premier League soccer, Major League Baseball, about to head to the playoffs. Tracy's on Magazine, legendary Tracy's. Have you been to the new location? Bigger and better than ever before. Too many flat screen TVs to count, literally. They're everywhere, including this huge 120-inch main TV. All your favorite teams, always on a flat screen. Tulane, LSU, Saints, Pelicans, and more. Magazine at Pleasant. That's between Washington and Louisiana. The all-new Tracy's. Sports bar restaurant. A full kitchen, too. featuring maybe one of the best roast beef po' boys in the entire city. When it's time to check out your favorite sports teams, hard to find a better place than Tracy's on Magazine. It's going to be your fans, the people you want to be with, cheering on your team. Tracy's Magazine at Pleasant between Washington and Louisiana. Go check out the all-new Tracy's. I'm guessing they open like about 10 a.m. and they roll through until 10 a.m. till TIL. It's a Martell Monday. Brett Martell joins us again on the program. What's happening, Brett?
Hey, Corey, how are you?
Doing well, man. Busy 24 hours for you. Saints yesterday, LSU today, and double dipping in Baton Rouge, right? A little football and women's hoops.
Yeah, and I was at LSU on Saturday, so it's really been three.
A big 36, 48 hours. Yeah, that's a lot. What went down today, Brett? What did Brian Kelly say? Harold Perkins out for the year. That's devastating.
Right, and it's probably the end of his career at LSU.
Yep.
Although when I pushed Kelly on it, he wouldn't really go there.
He makes $620,000 a year, Brett, at LSU, but that's a mere fraction of what he'll make in the National Football League.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, the thing is, he wasn't having a great season. He had no sacks or tackles for losses in 4 games this season. And now he's coming off, knee reconstruction. So, it's not really clear yet how high he'll be projected as a draft choice, and whether now that players can make some money in college, whether it might be worth it for him to come back and have a big last season at LSU and then go in the draft as a surefire, first round pick. But
yeah, I guess it depends on the rehab, how long that's going to take and the like. Brett, how do you figure this kid out though? Freshman year, absolutely dominant. The last 2 years, not nearly as dominant. And then even Brian Kelly saying, we're moving into a position that he's going to play at the NFL level. I mean, that just seems insane to me. Why are you worrying about what he's going to play at the NFL level? Put him in the position where he's going to dominate at LSU like he did his freshman year. I'm lost on all of that.
Well, these players have marketing agents now, and some of those marketing agents are, like in his case, affiliated with agencies that represent players for their contracts when they turn pro. And, that you never know if it was basically told to Kelly, either you play him at this position or he's going to transfer to another school because this is what he needs to show to get to the NFL.
No, that makes sense.
We don't know that happened, but it certainly could have happened.
No, you're right. You're totally right. That's a good point. They got leverage.
Players have agents in the transfer portal.
Yep.
And there can be a lot more now kind of high-tech pressure exerted on head coaches to use coveted players in certain ways. Because the agent's agenda isn't LSU winning. The agent's agenda is, as we know, is
the player
maximizing the value of his client.
Yeah, no, those are good points. Those are really good points. Brett, UCLA, not a very good football team. This thing's knotted up at 17 apiece at halftime. LSU kind of shuts the door on them in the second half and holds them to no points, but shouldn't have been that close, right?
One would think. Yeah. One would think it should not have been that close. But, UCLA, look, they were probably highly motivated to get better after what they did the week before, getting blown out at home against Indiana. And they probably worked on some new stuff and executed pretty well against an LSU defense that has been shaky.
Yep.
At times.
Gives up big plays, man.
And gives up big plays. But you know what? LSU, I think one thing about Brian Kelly's coaching staff is they seem to be pretty adept at making corrections. If you notice the second half, not the USC game, but definitely the last two games against Power 4 teams. They kind of dominated the second half at South Carolina and obviously at home against UCLA. And that's an encouraging sign. The key is for them to, I think stay close throughout the course of the game where they can make adjustments and correct some things that go wrong early, and pull ahead over time. But
yep.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hey, Tulane getting in a dogfight in Cajun country. They took care of UL Lafayette, but it really took until the end. They were kind of going tit for tat for a while.
It was a weird game because basically what Tulane did is they made a lot of mistakes, assignment, mental errors, penalties, and tons of pass interference.
Yep.
So they did that hurt themselves. And then they showed off how talented they are the rest of the time with, defensive, with turnovers, returns, right? Was there an interception return and a kick return for a touchdown or something like that? And then of course the offense did play well when they had to. So look, that was a weird game, right? Because I think that the Raging Cajuns were really fired up for that game. They came in 2-0.
They're at home.
Outside, it was hot, and that can affect performance sometimes. So that's what I make of it. But Tulane coach John Summerall was not happy with a lot of the mistakes and made it clear that they've got a lot of improvement to do in some of those areas.
Yep. Well, a decade ago, Tulane would jump to go to the Pac-10, I would guess, Brett. Tulane, along with Memphis and South Florida, reportedly say no to the Pac-10. You could argue the American Athletics better than the Pac-10. The Pac-10's nothing like it used to be. Do you like this move, not committing to that?
Right. I don't know if they've totally said no, at least not on the record, but they did release a public statement in which they essentially said, in so many words, we need to focus on what we have now. and it is possible. I mean, look, you're talking about a football conference. There is, the West Coast might be alluring to some, but when you're talking about a football conference, I think, the Gulf South in Florida, is where football's at. And
no.
Where a lot of the American Conference teams are. So.
Plus a lot of travel to the West Coast. It would be a little more expensive. There's no doubt. Now, are they getting more money out of the deal? There were reports, Brett, that Tulane would want an out. Like, hey, we'll come to the Pac-12. And these are just reports over the weekend. But in 4 years, we want to have the chance to reevaluate. And I don't think any conference is going to allow that.
Yeah. I don't know. Nowadays, it just seems like conference, teams pick up and leave from conferences anyway.
Yep.
So I guess if you want them bad enough, maybe you put that in there for them because what's the difference?
Yep. Yep.
It might just leave anyway. There's a lot of, that's probably a little over my head in terms of the legality of all that stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm included on
all
that.
I know is that, you see two teams leaving the Big 12 and and going to the SEC, and you see teams leaving the Pac 12 for, the ACC and the Big 10. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Boy, yesterday in the Dome, too many big plays. The defense overall played pretty good, holding, Hurts and the Eagles to what they did. But a big running play right up the gut, a big busted play, 3 Saint players running in each other, tight end goes down the sideline. Couple of big plays really hurt the Saints yesterday in the Dome. You still there, Brett?
Yeah, I got you. Look, that was a tough game all around. The Eagles are a good team coming off a late game collapse the week before. I've heard theories out there that the best way to win money betting on the NFL is to bet on every game every week, and always when you can pick the team that lost the week before, because there's so much parity in the league anyway.
You're talking about just teams bounce back.
So yeah, teams bounce back, and especially good teams like the Eagles. I mean, they have a really good defense. So look, they may. I mean, it remains to be seen if they gave a blueprint for what the rest of the NFL can do to slow the Saints offense down in this new scheme under Clint Kubiak, because not every team has the same personnel.
Yep.
And I think Dennis Allen kind of indicated that when he talked about it today and said, well, if you're as big and talented on the interior defensive line as the Eagles are, then I guess their plan is a good plan, and the Saints will have to adjust to that going forward. But not every team can do what the Eagles did. So
and losing McCoy, your center, one of the best linemen they've got, that's not a good thing.
Help. Yeah, didn't help.
No, it didn't help at all.
No, I think they thought the guy who subbed in for him did a great job considering the circumstances. But, that doesn't mean
there's not going to be a drop-off.
As well. Yeah, right, exactly.
The offense, man, first 2 weeks, just on fire. A little inept yesterday, Brett.
Right, and again, it's I think because it started with their trouble to run the ball. And, and then, I mean, the Eagles have a good secondary, too. They got some good players back there, including one that used to play for the Saints, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah.
And I just think that it was, it was just a tough go all the way around, and they still almost won. I think I said on your show last week that if they had beaten the Eagles, to me, that would have been, no matter what the score was, a more impressive win than what they did against the Cowboys, just because of, how the Cowboys were coming off, a big win against a lousy team and may have not been as sharp as they should have been. Although now the Cowboys look even worse after what they did against the Ravens. So it takes a little bit of luster off what the Saints did there. But, it was just, they were right there. I mean, they had the lead with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't hold it. They gave up. They had some confusion with a young safety, right? Jordan Howden ran into Marshawn Lattimore, and then Will Harris had to run around the two of them as he was trying to trail Dallas Goedert, the tight end, who had that huge 61-yard gain at the end there, right? I mean, it was a weird play. You had a young player made a huge mistake, almost in the order of like what Marcus Williams did in Minnesota in terms of taking out his teammates trying to cover a play, and there you go. I mean, that's why they lose at the end. So.
Brett, tonight, a couple of Monday night games, one on ABC, one on ESPN. It's Burrow versus Daniels. Not only a couple of former LSU starting quarterbacks, a couple of Heisman Trophy winning LSU starting quarterbacks going against each other tonight.
Yeah, it's compelling stuff. And the Bengals are off to a rough start. And I need the Bengals to win because I picked them in my survivor pool.
They're 0-2. It's kind of shocking.
Yeah, it is kind of shocking, but it happens sometimes,
You go with your betting advice from earlier. They're due for a win.
Yeah, they are due for a win, but they may be in for a tough season. You never know. Teams can start 0-2 and rally, but it's when a really good team has some hiccups like that, sometimes it's a symptom of something that's not quite right with them in terms of just everyone being on the same page, getting along and so forth. And it can cause issues, as we've seen with some Saints teams that were supposed to be good that ended up just having these middling years when it wasn't nipped in the bud early.
No, you're right. And the opposite this year up until yesterday, the 2-0 Saints were one of the surprises of the league, especially the numbers they were putting up offensively.
Right. They were, they had 11 touchdowns in the first two games. And then they had one touchdown yesterday with 2 minutes to go. It didn't even look like the same thing we've been watching the first 2 weeks. But I think it just goes to show how good these teams are, some of these teams are in the NFL and their coaches, and how they can come up with plans that when the players are really, really motivated and angry about what happened the previous week and they execute, and they do it with a lot of force and passion, you know,
Yep.
good offenses can get ground to a halt for 60 minutes.
No, you're right. You're right on the money. Hey, Brett, as always, thank you. We'll be checking out your stuff via the AP.
You got it, Corey. Great to be on the show.
Love having you on it, Brett. That's Brett Martell, another Martell Monday. That's Blue Boy barking up a storm on this Monday afternoon. New Orleans, thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow, every weekday, 4 to 6 o'clock. See you mañana. Down, Blue Boy. Down. We got a legal ID coming up. It's FCC required. Shh. Down, buddy. Down.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.